Life is a process, and each one of us will go through that process in one way, in one shape, in one form or the other. And sometimes the process gets so hard that we wish we could skip over it, that we wish we did not have to go through it, that we wish we could be exempted from the hard parts of the journey. But I have come to tell you that those parts of the journey actually bring out the beauty in you. And when you are in the middle of that process, that's the last thing that you want to hear. It is one of the things that you will not even believe, because the process actually is testing and pulling out the difficult parts of you. I remember today the times in my life, somewhere around 2014, over about 10 years ago, when I used to sit in my lone apartment room and wonder, when will this ever end? Why is this process so difficult? Feeding was difficult. Finding a great job was difficult. Finding the right people, the right set of friends, the right circle was difficult. And in those moments where I cried out my eyes, I was just like you, wondering, when will this process ever end? Fighting the process. And when everybody else would say, or when people will tell me, like I'm telling you today, that it's a process, it's meant to bring out the best in you, I just felt it was cliche. I just felt it was what they had to say because that was the only thing they could say. But now that I look back, I'm standing here today, or sitting here today, to tell you that the process, even though it's difficult, is necessary. It is the one thing that will bring out the beauty in you. In the process, I learned a whole lot. I could take a whole day to talk about the lessons of my process. I learned how to appreciate small and little. I learned how to be grateful. I learned to let go of entitlement. I remember this one incident when I was talking to God, because I had several conversations with God. I tried to negotiate my way out of the process. I tried to talk God out of my process. And in one of those conversations that I had with God, I kept on saying, why wouldn't you give me what I want? Why don't I have the good job? I did everything that was expected. I went to school, I went to church, I sowed the seed. I was the typical good girl. Why didn't I get the life that I thought it was going to go in the way that I expected? And in that moment, it's almost like I heard a voice, or I came to the realization that in that process, in that time, in that phase, I was an entitled person. I felt entitled. I was going around with a chip on my shoulder, like life owed me something. One of the lessons that I learned in my process is life owes you nothing. You're going to have the right attitude. Your attitude matters, and it would determine your altitude. I had to switch from that entitlement mindset into I will work hard. I'm going to be grateful, because gratitude commands plenty. Gratitude commands a multiplication, not an entitlement, not with a chip on my shoulder. I had to learn that in my wilderness experience. In the process, the importance of letting go of entitlement to people's benefits, entitlement to the relationships in your life, entitlement to the mercy of God, and that's a topic for another day. Entitlement to anything, I had to let that go and say, I am in this process, in this moment, wanting more. What do I need to impart into myself to get the more that I want? How can I recognize other people that are doing great and learn from them? How can I better align with the opportunities that I'm praying for? I'm putting one step after another and not wallowing in self-pity, because that is what entitlement will make you do. All of this was in that process. I learned all of this in my process. It is not a lie when they tell you that gold is born out of a very difficult process, because when you see gold in its raw form, it looks dirty. It looks like nothing anybody would desire. It looks like the very thing that you would trash out of your home. It looks like nothing you will want to have anything to do with, but it is gold. But when you put gold through its purification process, it comes out as something everybody cherishes, values, wants to hold, and esteems highly. But without that process, that gold remains the dirty element and dirty substance that your naked eye looks at. The process is meant to teach you and train you and build you and form you to occupy the destiny that you know that you were meant for. But you have to surrender to the process and learn the lesson and stop blaming and stop being entitled and stop being ungrateful, so that you can learn well and move on out of the difficult place.